with the development of AI, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of challenge also. People are taking it as a good assistant. But I always feel that there are some sort of supervision which is required all the time. And one should not rely 100% upon the AI.
Hello and welcome to the Super Lawyer YouTube channel. Today we have with us Shivam Yadav sir. Sir is a distinguished legal professional and is the managing partner at Shivam Raman and Law Associates. Sir has over 16 years of experience across areas such as civil law, criminal law, constitutional law, and various other areas. Known for his expertise and unwavering integrity, Sir also is a standing counsel for several prestigious institutions and has been instrumental in influencing landmark rulings in election petitions, administrative matters, and constitutional challenges. In addition to Sir's legal practice, he is also a dedicated pro bono worker. We welcome you today, Sir. My name is Anshi, and I work as an associate with the LawSikho team. I'd like to introduce you to Divya ma'am. Divya ma'am is our team lead at the Super Lawyers. Ma'am has extensive expertise in legal and technological matters, including AI, ethics, privacy, compliance, IPR technology, and other related areas. Ma'am also practices at the Supreme Court and offers valuable insight into complex legal and technological issues. Thank you so much for being with us today, sir. And
Well,
ma'am, I'd like to request you to now please take the dais. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anshi, for bringing such esteemed guests to us. Thank you, Shivam sir. I hope you will enjoy the interview and share your life
surely.
experiences as well as challenges. So before we start, we usually ask our regular and very important question, as in how and why you decided to pursue law or make law your career. But along with that, when did you decide to get into civil and constitutional matters? Because many a times students, while they are learning, they just feel like we should be the ones, we should decide it in the law college itself. So when did you do it? What was your system and what kind of challenges did you face even before doing all this? So platform is all yours, please.
So, Dibya, thank you very much for inviting me. The most important thing is that law was never in my mind in my initial days of studies. I wanted to be a doctor. And yes, it is true that I am a second generation lawyer. So my father remained a very noted criminal lawyer in Allahabad High Court. And then he got elevated to the bench. He remained judge of Allahabad High Court. And after that, he retired from judge of Allahabad High Court. He became Law Commission's chairman, etc. And now he's practicing also in the Supreme Court of India as a senior advocate. So law was never intended as it happens with many of us. So yes, but law is something which I believe, which if I have not taken it as a career, then I would not have thrived this much. And I personally feel that law is the only thing which is meant for me. With flux of time, you always feel that you can do this, you can do that. But then I personally feel that law is the only one trait where you can achieve anything and everything. That's one. Secondly, there is no monotonity involved in this profession. Every day is a new day, and every day is a new challenge. Every day is a new case. Every day you get to fight with your friends, your beloveds, your very close ones. And one more thing which is very important is that why we call it practice. It is something that nobody is perfect. And even my senior S.P. Gupta used to say that we call it practice for the reasons that we practice it daily. And therefore, nobody is perfect. Even if you falter, if you fail, if you do not deliver properly, then there would be a new day. There would be another day which is coming, and you will succeed. So practice daily and practice with perseverance, practice with utmost devotion. You will succeed. I'm sure about it. So second thing that you asked, what is the first-hand experience of being a lawyer? So being a lawyer, I told you, this is the best trade one can enter. And for a new lawyer, it is important that in the initial days, he should invest maximum of his time in studies. Apart from preparing cases, in preparing your briefs for the senior and working with them, doesn't mean that everything has to be done by the senior. And one should not think that if I'm the last man sitting at the bench in the conference room, or maybe last man standing in the courtroom along with the team, then my efforts will go unrecognized. Nothing. If you are working hard, you will be recognized. Your seniors, your immediate colleagues, and even judges. There's one more thing which I always remember of my beloved senior. He always used to tell me that when you enter the courtroom, do not try to impress the judge. Try to impress the seniors who are sitting in the courtroom, because they will be the mouthpiece of yours. They will be talking about you at 1,000 paces, that this lawyer is doing good, this young lawyer has got good intent of law, etc. So I personally feel, and my practice, I develop my practice in this way only, that I never intend to impress upon a judge. My intent was to impress upon my colleagues, my senior advocates, my seniors, immediate seniors who are sitting in the courtroom. And whenever I enter the courtroom, they always look at me that if he's coming, he would be stating correct facts, he would be placing everything with utmost clarity and without there being any form of deviation from the ethics and the principles which are norms set by our customary ethics and practices. So that's important. One more thing, which is very important, my senior always told me, a lawyer win a case at his table and he loses a case at his table. It is not in the courtroom. The courtroom is meant for deliveries of your preparation. So, to the young lawyers who are all joining the profession of law, it is important that they should try to invest more time on their table, whatever form of table they have, whatever form of chamber they have, big, small, whatever. If you invest your time on the case, preparing it and preparing it thoroughly, you will definitely win. You will definitely succeed.
Sir, we'll continue with that. Your beloved seniors aspect, Mr. S.P. Gupta, sir, former Advocate General of Uttar Pradesh, who has influenced your lawyering system, who has given you that platform to grow and form a mindful setup in your brain that this is how one should work. If you don't mind discussing some of the most important or challenging or rewarding cases that you have handled under his mentorship and the kind of lessons that you took out from it. Why I'm asking, sir, all these questions clubbed together because with every kind of case like election petition, company dispute, or any other tax matter or any matter whatsoever, you must have learned something from sir. So, what kind of learnings you carved out from that, and that helped you build your own practice?
See, when I joined Mr. S.P. Gupta, he was already at the pinnacle of everything. He was at the top of everything. So when I joined him, I was very happy because it's one of the dream comes true that you join someone whom you've read in the books. I believe the first case law that I read in my law college's days was Keshwanand Bharti and S.P. Gupta versus India. So same whom you've read about in the books, you go and join him. So it's a bigger thing. So when I joined Mr. Gupta, he was already a top-notch lawyer. He was previously also an advocate general. He remained advocate general twice in Uttar Pradesh. And when I joined him after he was previously advocate general, then when I joined him and I almost left his chamber, then only he became advocate general in that. So Mr. S.P. Gupta, from him, we learned everything. And whatever my practice is, whatever my standings is, and wherever I've reached as on date, I don't know it's big, but then whatever is there, it is all because of my senior. And he taught us like a child. He taught everything from initial bits. So one thing which I always remember is that he was very fond of everything in life, but he invests maximum of his time in reading of books, reading of journals, and reading of every other things. So when we joined Mr. S.P. Gupta, he asked me one question. I still remember. He said, "Do you read novels?" I said, "Yes, sometimes, not regularly, but often." And he asked me that, "What is the time when you read it?" So I said, "Normally, by the time we are going to bed. So in the evenings or maybe at night time, just before sleep, something like this. Not very often." So he said that I want to see what kind of novels you read. So I thought that my senior is interested in my places of interest or something. So he asked his clerk to accompany me, and I thought my senior want to see my taste in reading, etc. So I gave him extra books also. So those which not all concerned with me, I don't even read them. But yes, I gave them just to show it off to my senior that I'm having such kind of taste. So I sent it, and the very next day I went to the chamber. So I was very inquisitive that why my senior has asked me for this, and by evening he didn't ask me anything. So in the evening I got more inquisitive about it. So I thought that I should ask him. So I asked him, what happened to my books, the novels that you called upon from my home? So he said that it's in the store. And I said, what for it is in the store? So he said, it will remain in the store now. It will not be given back to you. So I was a little surprised about it. And he said, I have purposely called it upon. And now those books are not available to you. So I said, now what? So he said that instead of reading novels or these fictions or whatever you're reading, you should keep a journal, the legal law journal, the weekly journal or the monthly journal, by the side of your bed. And before going to the bed, you should read it daily. So I said, okay, what kind of judgments I have to read? He said, beggars are not choosers. You're a beggar. You don't have anything in your pocket. So you should collect it with both of your hands and you should not leave anything behind. So start from page one, end it, the last page of the journal, you should read it and keep it by the side of your bed until it is finished and read it like a novel. Now, for you, everything, the fiction, the thriller, the romance, the everything is that law journal. So he said that since you've been reading so many books, I would suggest you keep two journals with you. So read two journals daily, read one judgment, read one page, read half a page. So I said that if I don't intend to practice in tax side or maybe company side or maybe any other side, criminal side, why should I read it? So he said that reading is not for the purposes of you developing something. It is only a preparedness for your future. And you will learn how to write. That's one thing. You will also learn how judges write. And you will also learn how law evolves. And one day or the other, you will definitely get one case which you have read in the past. So that is your preparedness. So I followed that, not following these days, but yes, I followed it for a major chunk of my life. The major chunk of my practice, I used to follow this, not doing it these days, all because of the online thing, which is you get updated via live law and bar and bench and so many other things which is coming. So not doing that, but yes, initial days I did it, and I will always recommend all young lawyers who are joining the bar. They should read it. They should read as to how things are being done. They will get an insight of how courts work, how court function, etc. That's one. Another thing is that my senior used to give me one example of a grocery store, and that's very important. I always share with my juniors also, my colleagues also, whosoever joins me, I always share this. So my senior used to give an example of a grocery store, and he always say that a lawyer's chambers are like a grocery store. So there are two grocery store. One grocery store which carries some items, and another is another bigger grocery store. So a client or a customer, whosoever it is, in both references, goes to one grocery store and asks for a chocolate. And if a customer asks for a chocolate, do you have a chocolate? The reply would be yes, I have a chocolate. You take this. That same customer went to the other grocery store and he asked for a chocolate. Do you have a chocolate? So the reply would be, I have 5 brands of chocolate, and that 5 brand also carries 10 different kind of flavors. Which one you want? So imagine yourself whom you would choose. That's one thing. And secondly, he always used to say that the preparedness is very important for the reason that when you go to a grocery store and you ask for something, and the shopkeeper says, let me just search it out, let me just check it, is it available with me or no, and I have to just check it whether or not this thing is available or not, or this thing exists or not. And second grocery store is one where a person asks for something and he just give it right in the hand, yes, this is the thing, you take it. So then imagine whom would you choose. So he always used to say this thing that lawyer's profession is like a grocery store. You have to just accumulate everything in your store. You never know when such kind of case would come to you, and you just place it before the client and say, yes, I'm aware of this fact, I'm aware of this law, I'm aware of the latest development of laws, etc. So you would be recognized by the clients. So this is how we've been taught. This is how we've been, nurtured by senior. And I believe that this is how one should also develop himself or herself, whatsoever. One should think that, yes, it's like a grocery store. I have to be very, very, very prepared. So my senior only gave me two things in my initial days. One is hard work, and hard work is that always pays. And second is preparedness. So he always was with the things that you should remain prepared. You should remain prepared for anything that is coming to you, no matter what. Say tax, say criminal, say constitution, say anything. Specialization is meant after you complete or invest 10 years, 20 years of practice, then only specialize. Prior to it, there's no requirement of specialization. So whatever you get, do it. So this is how it happens.
What beautiful advice. As per my understanding, if you work hard, you definitely become more smart and you definitely are more prepared also. Because unless you work hard, how will you be prepared? That's another thing. But so keeping that in mind, you were with Sir for quite some time and you decided to start your own law firm in a very early stage of your career. How did that happen, and what actually were your plans, or rather still your plans, to move forward, and kind of things that you are seeing nowadays in legal profession? There are so many things that have changed drastically, especially after COVID hit us. So the
Yes.
kind of practice that you may have seen earlier and the kind of practice now we have, where do you see legal practice is going, to be very frank, and how have you equipped yourself with the new practice that has come up, especially the online one?
So let's start with the online thing only. After this COVID thing happened, we've been given a new normal. And that new normal is the way we are also interacting. This is new normal, and everyone should remain prepared with that. Influx of technology, as I told you, that we used to read journals. I still subscribe journals, and I don't stop it. But yes, we have also shifted ourselves to digital methods of seeking all form of information. So when you do this, you have to be very, very clear with this thing that if you're not going to run with this development of technology, you will be obsolete. So yes, you have to adapt yourself. That's one. Secondly, with the development of AI, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of challenge also. People are taking it as a good assistant. But I always feel that there are some sort of supervision which is required all the time. And one should not rely 100% upon the AI. That is artificial, remain artificial. The original remain original. But yes, I would seriously recommend that with the change of technology, with the change of ways and medium by which the information are now being transacted, one should remain prepared with it. One should remain hand in hand with it. The other thing you've asked about Mr. Gupta's involvement with the development of my practice after I shifted myself. So I worked with him. I've interned with him, and then I joined his chamber. I've been working with him continuously, and then one fine day he got designated as the Advocate General of Uttar Pradesh. That is in the mid of 2012. So then only it is his decision only, not mine. Because when you call someone a senior, then you should rely absolutely upon him. It should be his decision when to ask you to go out of the chamber. So he got this prestigious appointment once again. He got appointed for the second time as Advocate General. So he called me up in the evening and he said, I want to discuss something with you. And I went to his chamber and he said, Shivam, I think it's time that you should start your independent practice. And I was not very sure about it at that point of time because working with a senior, you always have a shield with you. And once you go into an independent practice, that shield is gone. You are answerable for everything. Everything, whatever happens in your chamber, you are answerable. So this is one of the challenge which I also faced after leaving S.P. Gupta's chamber, because then I was answerable to everything. There are good days, there are bad days also. And initial days, there are a lot of things which happens. You don't know when to land into a good spot or a bad spot. But yes, it was his decision. He said that you start your own practice, and I see you developing yourself as a good lawyer in next 10 years down the line. And I personally feel that you should start your practice. So I started my practice independently. Yes, I got additional benefits out of that, and that is always there. you always get some kind of references, some kind of push, some kind of things. You get it, but it is one's responsibility to retain it. You can get anything. You can be nominated and appointed as a lawyer of any big firm, any big company, corporation, anything. But then that corporation, company, any entity would not retain you if you will not perform. So obviously that was there, that push was there, and I always feel that initially he recognized me to start my practice in the civil side, because my father was a judge at that point of time in Allahabad High Court, and he has restricted us, me and my brother both, to even enter into the criminal side. So there is complete ban for us that you guys should not be seen in the criminal side of the Allahabad High Court, because the Allahabad High Court at that point of time, it's two buildings. So one is the heritage block, which majorly features civil sides, and the new block, which features the criminal side. So there was a strict instructions that if you are seen over there, you will not be allowed to continue in the chamber. So one of the reasons that my senior also said that you should start independent practice, majorly on the civil side, develop things over here. And if you would be able to develop civil side practice in a proper manner, you would be able to even practice in the criminal side. So I'm not demeaning that, but yes, one who has practiced in the civil side and has understood how things work, he can practice in this criminal side also. So I try my luck in criminal side also. But yes, civil is the main forte where I thrive and I love it, and I personally feel that it should be in this side also. So this is how it happened. And so my senior only recommended it. And yes, developing a law firm, it all happened because my senior at a point of time wanted me to shift to Delhi and start my practice in Supreme Court, and my brother to start practice in Allahabad. But it turned down. So my brother said, no, I want to go to Supreme Court, and you have to start here. So against the wishes of my senior, he went there to Supreme Court. He's doing good, and therefore I remained here. But then we floated a law firm, small law firm, and we've initially started off with a lot of work, and still there. It's my brother used to take charge of that. And developing a law firm or floating a law firm or maybe developing a chamber is all interrelated with your practice things. This is how you conceive ideas, nothing more than that. I would not say that if you don't have a law firm, you will not develop. Even a practice independently established, it's many a time better than a good law firms.
I guess, sir, the credit should go to the blessings of seniors, parents, and your loved ones,
Yes.
that you ended up doing more than 4,000 cases, and you have handled versatile amount of variety of cases, which is not easy for anyone to do, because you
Yes.
have ventured into so many different complex matters. How have you navigated through all of this, especially keeping in mind that you have to understand, and not only understand, make your parties also, make your clients also understand about what you are doing, because many a times it happens that lawyers are questioned that what is your strategy. Usually you cannot explain everything to the client, but sometimes it happens that you have to explain. There must be some impactful cases which have navigated your career in a different path, for sure. So we would like to ask you about that particular, maybe couple of impactful cases which have actually given you a new thought process, or maybe it has changed the way you want to practice.
Okay, so as I told you that when I independently started my practice, I got appointed for one of the most prestigious corporations of state, that is called Noida, New Oakland Industrial Development Authority. I was appointed standing counsel at that point of time. And apart from Noida, I got appointed for Ghaziabad Development Authority, UP Power Corporation, and Kanpur Development Authority, many other corporations. But Noida is one corporation which at that point of time was facing maximum number of litigation. And if you remember, there was one full bench decision in the name of Gajraj Singh that happened and that occurred. I was part of that Gajraj decision also, not as a standing counsel of Noida, but as one of the respondent who was being represented by my senior. I was assisting him. So Gajraj has a bigger impact in Allahabad High Court, and it virtually changed the land acquisition litigation in Allahabad. So it is the biggest decision also. I believe more than 10,000 cases was decided in that batch of petition. So yes, being standing counsel of corporation, the added advantage what you get from being a standing counsel of a corporation is that you get variety of cases in front of you. And it is for you because you are the standing counsel, you have to manage and you have to cater everything by yourself. So as I said, that my senior told me this, that if you are working hard on your table, you will be, succeeding in every matter. So I kept it very basic. And I always tell my juniors also, my colleagues also, that whatever, if you get anything new in your career practice, you start from the scratch. And starting it from the scratch means that you first buy a bare act. Just read and just go through with that bare act. From the bare act itself, you will be able to get at least a bare idea of what you're going to do. Second, understand the client's case. Third, research. So I did it same ways. No special ways of navigating through any complex issues. There's no right hand thumb rule assigned to it. You just have to go with the basics, go with whatever has been taught to you in your past. Secondly, some of the very important cases involving land acquisition cases and election petitions, where I represented many of the top-notch politicians in the state, and many other civil matters, criminal matters, many other matters I have dealt with. But one which I always remember is one case that relates to caste certificates being issued from outside state to certain employees of Noida. And they have been working there since past 10 years, 15 years, maybe 20 years. So with the change of the hierarchy and the setups at the top notches in the corporation, they have been targeted. So what happened next was that their caste certificates were being taken out. And it has been decided that against the full bench decision of the Supreme Court, that is caste census, union caste censuses case. It's a 5 judges bench where it defines that if you obtain a caste certificate from a different state and get employment from another state, that caste certificate would not mean. Applying the same principle, the Noida has taken a decision to terminate services of at least 10 to 20 persons. They were employees, they were like 15 years or 10 years or maybe 20 years of standing. So it went before the single judge of Allahabad High Court. And one of the most esteemed judges of Allahabad High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice A.P. Shahi's bench was there. And for the first time, I had this thing that yes, nothing would happen because it's covered by Supreme Court's 5 judges bench, nothing would happen. So when I first entered my appearance before the court was very conscious, and court said that, Mr. Yadav, this appears to be very inhuman. For 15 years, one employee has been working with you, and now you're dwelling into his caste certificate, that how he has obtained employment, etc. So I said that, yes, my lord, it appears that we are a little harsh upon them. But then what to do? An illegality is an illegality. If it has been done in this way, from the very beginning, it has been illegally done, nothing would happen. You should dismiss this petition. So the Honorable Court said that I want you to act like an officer of court, not like a lawyer of Noida. And I want you to assist the court properly in this issue. So they developed one argument that they originally belongs to this state only. For employment, they went to some other state. There they have obtained some certificate, but they're standing as being a backward classes or scheduled classes. They remain here. They might have obtained certificate from other state, but then that does not take away their standing in this state. So maybe they have given certain form of affidavit from different state, but their parents, their brothers, their sisters, they all affidavit belong to this state only. So this argument went for, I believe, 3 to 4 hearings. And the Honorable Court said that you should search out cases. There must be something. So we've been searching it out, and it came down to a position where I gave one judgment to the Honorable Court. I told the court that there's only one judgment which is available. And I could say that after exhaustive research done by me, that it is the only judgment given on this particular subject, slightly touching your issue. And that judgment was delivered by the Goa bench of Bombay High Court. So when I said that it is the only judgment, then Honorable Court also, he was very, very thorough judge. He said that I also have one judgment. Do you mean Goa's bench of Bombay High Court? I said, yes, Malwa, it's the same judgment. So that happened, and he took that cue from Goa's bench judgment and delivered the order against us, against Noida, saying that this would not happen. They have the initial lineages existing from Uttar Pradesh. They might have taken certificates from other states. Therefore, caste census's judgment would not apply. That 5 judges' judgment would not apply. So whatever happened, the decision went against me, but it has a wonderful impact on my career. It has a wonderful impact on my well-being also, for the reason that the Honorable Court has appreciated me more than it has appreciated anyone. That's one thing. And it appreciated me for the fairness, it appreciated me for the human approach, and it appreciated me for being an officer of court, not as a lawyer of a client. Secondly, the court has dealt with, it is, I believe, 14 pages judgment, 14 or 16 pages judgment. The court has dealt with my arguments in almost 8 to 9 pages and has dealt with the petitioner's argument only in 3 to 4 pages, and then the reasoning. So that judgment always remained very close to me, although I lost it, but I always feel that I worked harder than anyone. And I personally feel that I supported the cause of justice. So being a lawyer representing a respondent doesn't mean that you should always get the petition dismissed. You should always work towards getting justice done, whatever way it comes. And secondly, there is another very big case which we remained part of it. There was one election petition which was going on, and that was for the first time I got associated with an election petition. So initially we used to do writ petition business. So although I have done some trial court in the lower courts, but then election petition is a full-fledged trial. What happens in the trial court? So CPC is outrightly applied, and CPC has to be applied in minutest of the possible places. So when I got associated with an election petition, my senior said that you should prepare a brief. And I prepared a brief like it is a writ petition that has to be argued, where Article 14, 19, 21 is to be referred, that is being violated. So my senior told me that it is not a petition. You have to prepare it like a suit. And when you're preparing a suit, you have to be very cautious of your client's version, the defense, the availability of evidence, etc. So that election petition left a huge impact upon my career as well, for the reason that I understood the nitty-gritties of civil laws, the nitty-gritties of how trial proceeds, how evidences are being led, how evidences are placed, what is the meaning of exhibit, what is the meaning of any order or any rule which is to be applied in the due course. So this is how it happened. So I believe that election petitions, then land acquisition cases, obviously, because I've been working with these corporations. So land acquisition cases are the maximum with me. And I feel that I'm expert of it. Even if you ask me half of my sleep, you can ask me any question, I will give answer. I remain updated with the land acquisition cases. So when the new laws came, the Right to Fair Compensation Act came 2013, there was an influx of huge number of judgments with regard to applicability of Section 24 subclause 2 of 2013 Act. So that or and was to be interpreted in that 24.2 clause. So I personally feel that I was the first lawyer who has argued this fact that and or has to be read in proper context. It should not be read as it has been stated in the statute. So that also was argued before Honorable Mr. Justice A.P. Shai. He gave an interim order writing down everything, every aspect, every form of argument which I argued. And fortunately, that argument which I made prior to it has been accepted by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in the Indore Development Authority's case. And it has interpreted this, that it should not be this, that you've accepted compensation and possession lies with one person, the tenure holder, then the 24.2 would apply. The court has interpreted it. This, I personally feel that I have argued it 3 years, 4 years prior to the judgment came. And that has been recorded, duly recorded in the form of an interim order. So I personally feel that that's a forte, and land acquisition cases are like very good, very, very vivid, and it requires special care and hand when you deal with them. So this is how it happens. And then again, it all started from the scratch. If you're intending to even become an expert, start with the bare act. Go with the basics.
So, as you said, that judge also saw you as the officer of the court and not only representing your client, that is not the authority. So, that is more of a not only humanitarian approach, it's more of doing greater good for the society and public at large.
Yes.
Is that the
Yes.
reason that you are so much involved in pro bono work also? And you serve as counsel for High Court Legal Services Authority as well.
Yes.
Here also, I would ask you the kind of importance of legal aid that you feel should be there for access of justice and actually reaching towards the right cause. And the people who can't afford legal representation also, how are we helping them, especially in today's scenario and keeping your busy practice? How do you balance your legal practice where you have your bread and butter being earned and do pro bono work simultaneously?
So the idea of pro bono work that remains there with me. I've got it in the form of an inheritance. My father also used to do this. So normal course, we also always used to do this, that the person who's not very much capable of giving your fee, etc., can't afford them, then I always intend to give them free aid or something like this. I got associated with High Court Legal Services Authority for the reason that very close friend of mine, he suggested that this High Court Legal Services Authority and Supreme Court Legal Services Authority, and being the case of District Legal Services Authority, they don't cater good lawyers because good lawyers don't intend to join them. So I had this thing in my mind that if I'm doing a lot of pro bono work, and for pro bono you don't require anything extra. You're going to the court daily, you're sitting in your chamber daily, you have to just do your work. That's part of your work. So pro bono only gives you internal satisfaction that you are doing something for the society. Secondly, I personally felt that the panel of lawyers which represent pro bono or maybe a High Court Legal Services Authority, etc., it does not cater lawyers who are having good practices. So I personally felt that I should break this barrier also. I should join it so that other also must see it and join it. And at least one can get good assistance from me. So I'm happy that I'm doing this pro bono work. High Court Legal Services Authority gives me a lot of many cases, many jail appeals, many writ petitions, many other cases where my involvement are required. And when you do it, you always feel good. You always feel nice. And I personally feel that for a lawyer, if you're doing good, if you're earning well, then one should have one portion of the practice dedicated to this pro bono work. Doesn't require that you have to have a High Court Legal Services or Supreme Court Legal Services, or that matter, any other legal services lawyer or panel is required. You can do it on your own. I used to do it, and whosoever comes to me and if he says that I'm not capable of doing it, I always give them free aid. Hardly matters to you. Because my father always used to say this thing, that he is not taking anything away from you. You are going daily to court. If you will do something for him, maybe he will remember you and he may recommend you good clients also. So this happened with me also. I done some free work for one of my clients. He said that I'm not able to give you a fee. I said, all right, it's okay then. You get it settled. You just pay your expenses part. Don't pay my fee. So this happened to me on a regular basis. He went back, his work has been done. He went back to his native place and he sent me at least 10 cases with very good fee margins. So you never know who comes for your aid. I mean, he's like a god. You help them, he'll help you back. So something like this. So pro bono work is nothing. Yeah, everyone should do it. And that does not require any form of special engagement of panel and anything. Do it on your own. And that doesn't require any loudspeaker to be spoken to. That's only limited to you. You should keep it with you. That is how it has been done.
So in today's world, where everyone is only interested in showing off what they are doing, you are talking about something which hardly we find people that they do and do not speak about it, which is the beauty of that particular pro bono work. And thank you so much for doing that for the society, because it's not easy to carve out time for pro bono work, especially with your
Yes.
schedule. So, we have also learned that you have a dedicated team of not more than 10 law associates to make sure that you have absolutely comprehensive legal representation. What
Yes.
do you look for when you are selecting these associates and the kind of culture that you build around them so that you make sure that the culture of the firm also does not get disrupted and they also get to enter that particular field and learn as you have learned from your seniors? Because there must be some way of inculcating these things while you are nurturing the young lawyers to become aspiring legal professionals. How do you do that?
See, I personally feel that whatever I've got from my senior, I should pass it on to the younger lot. That's one thing. I interact with them. I remain very friendly with them. And I follow some form of principles in my chamber that I don't save their number. I tell this thing to every junior of mine that I will not save your phone number unless until you earn it. And you should do so much of thing that I should be compelled to give you a call. I should search out for your phone number and give you a call. And I follow this, and this work also for every young lawyer who's joining my chamber. You always want that I should remain on the fast dial list of my senior. So that is one thing which I do to boost them up. Secondly, I look out for young lawyers with their zeal and zest. I don't ask for any other thing. I don't ask for the law degree. I don't ask for how much marks you've earned in your law exams, etc. I don't ask for them. I just hold a small interview, and if he's passionate towards the profession, he's with me. And that passion, if you're not running it up with the passion for which you're here, then you're not with me. So I personally feel that I'm very hard taskmaster also. I scold them also. The juniors of mine, they are also afraid of me. That if he's on the wrong side, he will also tear us apart. But then, yes, I remain friendly with them. I purposely, whenever I sit with them with a clear intent of sharing my things, whatever I have earned, whatever I have got from my seniors to them. And one thing which I always try to inculcate in them is that you should develop concept. You should not become a rattu tota. Even if you're reading any book, even if you're reading any statute, if you're reading any form of judgment, anything, especially the CPC and the CRPC or IPC or something like this. CPC is one of the biggest example of learning it by concept. I told them that for anything, CPC has been given in the forms, in the orders. So that orders have been arranged in a particular manner, and you have to understand that. So if I say that written statement would come in order one, then you should laugh at me because there should be first a list, a party, then there would be plaint, then there would be pleading, and then there would be written statement. So obviously, if someone put you a direct question that or written submissions is in order one, you should immediately say no, no, it can't happen. Means it is whatever, but it should not happen in order one. So this is how I try to develop them. I always ask them to develop it in the form of a concept. If your concepts are clear, you will be clear. And there's no form of interview which is going on. That if you don't know a particular section, then people will laugh at you. No. Even the bar exams, which I'm told that it is open book exam, it is rightly being done because you can't learn everything. You should know where it should be located. And for knowing this thing that where it is located, you should remain aware of the fact that your concepts are clear. So that is how I look into my juniors. I feel that I have got a very good team. I have a dedicated team of almost 10 associates. Five of them are very, very effective. They are regularly working with me. And I share them with a lot of work, a lot of insight of how to do things. And I think they are doing good. So this is how we do it. And so for juniors, I'm always available. Even if you're not in my chamber, if you come across me and you ask me something, I'm always ready to help, always ready to give suggestions, give any form of help which is required.
So the way you are explaining, one should be scared also, and one should also learn from the ways you have developed your practice. Keeping all this in mind, sir, I usually ask this to almost all the lawyers about their thought process related to the mental health specifically. Because
Mhm.
nowadays, since we are living mostly in isolation, especially after the kind of pandemic that we have seen, Sometimes that has also affected. Earlier, we used to understand it that if we share it with the family here and there, our health will be taken care of, especially the mental health part. Nowadays, it has become a very big issue, be it any profession. I won't say only legal profession, but yes, in legal profession also, there is a lot of pressure. Like you said, that there are things that have to be done in time-bound manner. There are different kind of pressure in chambers as well as your own practice or your seniors practice. So how do you cater to that, especially first for yourself? Because once when you are absolutely healthy and if you think in the most positive manner, then only you can inculcate the same in the team as well. So how you formulate that also makes a lot of difference in the kind of juniors you get. So I would request you to share some views about that, that how to make sure that you say if you're feeling something which is impacting you easily to your senior without having that fear of maybe getting fired or something like that, because somehow that is the biggest fear youngsters live in, because if I lose this, how will I reach to this space? That scare, how to make sure that that does not happen.
See, as I said, that so far as I am concerned, I always keep my team like a friend. I always behave like an elder brother and always try to remain insightful with them. Apart from that, professional things are one thing, but whenever I feel that there is some sort of time or some sort of available spaces, I always like for personal interactions on softer notes, taking them to restaurants, taking them to some other places, so that they also get friendly, they should also remain in good state. Secondly, I follow one principle that has been given to me by my senior again. My senior never used to work on Fridays. So I follow the same tradition. And for past 16 years since I'm working, I never worked on Friday, barring few exceptions that is to be eliminated. But then I never worked on Fridays. And I also try to cover up my maximum of work on Saturdays, morning to evening, so that my evenings or maybe later part of the evenings remain free, so that I can give some amount of time with my family, to my kids, and to my wife. And of course, with this, you also get a clear head, because otherwise, if you're working 24/7 and you're not giving time to yourself, you will end up losing your mental peace. And you rightly said that this is the time post COVID. There are so many other form of complications that have developed. So one should look into it. One should always keep his health in the first of its state. For a junior, whosoever it is, if he is not feeling comfortable, if he is not feeling good, if he is not having any form of proper state of his mental health, physical health, any other form of thing, he should be vocal. And see, you are in a profession, at least being a lawyer, you have to be vocal. Being lawyer, you have to be very, very vocal. So if you're not speaking for yourself, you can't speak for your client as well. So for me, I feel that if your senior is not interacting with you, if your senior is not having very cordial or very friendly terms with you, move an application formally and just tell him that I'm not good with you, or this form of yours is not good with you. So he will, I'm sure, he will understand. And if your senior is cordial, if your seniors may be friendly with you, then always speak up. And if you will not speak up for yourself, nothing would happen. So for mental health, another important thing is that whenever you get time, when you're wrapping up your chamber, you're going out, don't talk about work. Don't talk about any other thing which is happening. Don't talk even about the courtroom rumors or gossips, anything. Just talk about nonsense. Just talk about anything that you feel gives you a form of happiness. That is how you will be able to balance things out. Otherwise, there will be a difficulty.
Thank you, sir, for being so open about all these aspects, because it's not easy to talk about mental health all the time. Usually,
Yeah.
it's like, what is mental health? Why are you talking about this much? But then you were quite open about this.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
it is very important. I personally feel that 80% of lawyers in this country, they are overburdened. They are having more pressure than any other form of professionals face. It's very pressurizing. It gives you immense tension. It gives you immense form of traumas. So it's not that easy. You have to be very, very, very quick, very clear, very agile and you have to be prepared also. So it's very demanding profession. You have to be very clear with this, that if your mental health is not good, then you'll not survive. And mental health include every form of health, physical health, mental health, your state of happiness. If one is not happy, and even if he's thriving well and he's not happy, then it's no point to just thrive well and then remain unhappy all the time. So it's important. And even seniors should always share this thing insightfully, that look, whatever told your mind, do discuss it with me. I used to do it. I always do with my juniors, that what is happening, why you're not looking good today.
So that's because you are very observant and you actually take care of your juniors, because it's not easy to know that if someone is having a good day or a bad day. But thank you so much, sir, for carving out this much time for us to take the interview. And the whole Super Lawyer team is thankful to you. And it has been an amazing, eye-opening experience that we interviewed today a lawyer who has done more than 4,000 cases and he remembers almost all of them, and impactful ones as well. Thank you so much, Shivam sir, for being here. It
Thank
has
you,
been
Divya. Thank you, Anshi. Thank you very, very much.